Welcome, everybody, to yet another episode of Wavecast. This is officially episode 3 of season 3, so lucky numbers going on there. So today we have Sabina Akhter, who graduated from MI's Advanced Diploma in Water Quality program in December of 2020. Since then, the program has become a Master's in Marine Studies and Water Resource Management. So, without any further ado, Sabina, welcome on into Wavecast. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, really appreciate you coming out and talking with us about your experiences with water quality.
So, I am from Bangladesh. I was born in Bangladesh and then I moved to Qatar with my family when I was 9 years old. And then I moved to Canada back in 2018 to pursue the Bachelor of Technology in Engineering and Applied Sciences at Memorial University. And from there, after I graduated from that program, I joined the water quality, the advanced diploma of water quality program at MI.
So, what drew you into the program for water quality?
Um, I remember in my last semester of the BTech, the Bachelor's of Technology program, I was thinking about what I'm going to do after this degree program ends. And first thought was, I need to get a job after this. But being new in Canada at that time and also being an international student, I thought I did not have all the information or understanding of how to navigate that journey. And I felt the need to spend some more time in academic courses. So I was looking for a program and I came across the advanced diploma programs at the Marine Institute. The main component of that program that drew my attention was the co-op part of it. That's the internship. And immediately I thought that, okay, here is something that will help me transition to the work field in more kind of like a structured way. I get some experience in the industry, and then slowly I can make networks or can understand the context, how it would be to work here. So
Mm,
that's why I chose the program. And also, I am fascinated by water as a resource.
mhm.
To understand it more, to study it in more depth, the program itself and the topics and the courses, the program involved everything really um, made me interested to pursue it.
So, you were mentioning the work term and the
hmm
internship. Could you talk a little more on that?
the internship program was quite valuable. Now, keep in mind that when I went into it, it was during COVID, height of COVID in 2020. Internship component was delayed by a few months. However, I had so much valuable experience through that internship program that really helped me to transition to the workforce afterwards and stay in Canada and understand what it would be like to work in this field of water resources. The program itself prepared us, I feel, to be better equipped to be working in this sector. And the internship, I remember going into it, I was really excited, of course, that I'm going to be getting this exposure into the industry and exposure to the work environment. Yeah, so all of
Mm.
that really made me feel great. And after the internship ended, I stayed with the organization for another 8 months and then decided to change my job and moved into another position in a different organization and landed me in a place where I was able to transition to another workplace, but at the same time gain that valuable experience that I needed to be able to do that.
You mentioned the agency. So, where exactly were you stationed for your internship?
It's Avalon Laboratories. It was a commercial laboratory back then. I think it recently got revamped into Agat Laboratories. They have several laboratories within the within the main laboratories. There was a water quality lab, there was a microbiology lab, there was a toxicology lab, there's an oil and gas engineering lab. So it was various labs, but my work and internship exposure there involved working within the administrative part and also exposure to the water quality component of it.
So then, like, what was kind of like your day to day when you were doing your internship then?
So I was doing a lot of checking of the samples that came into the laboratory. So doing quality checks, QA, QC of the samples, preparing chain of custody documents for those samples. And that involved not just water quality samples, microbiology, toxicology, other samples as well. And I got some exposure working in the water quality lab as well, but mostly my position involved administration side of things.
So you were talking about how the program itself was useful in transitioning you from kind of like this academic area and then like getting into as like a transitionary period into like the more like professional realm. So where are you now?
So I now work for Department of Fisheries and Oceans Canada, and I'm a biologist with the aquatic invasive species unit there. And from my internship to the point where I am in my current job, there were a lot of other steps that I had to take to come to this position. The
Or
internship mainly prepared me to get comfortable and used to into the professional world. That prepared me for another position in the interim period where I was a um, where I worked in a environmental nonprofit organization as a watershed coordinator. And
mm.
then from there, I got to the DFO job. So yeah, the internship along with the program, the advanced diploma program itself, and all the courses I did, all the components prepared me to get to the place where I am today.
So what do you find yourself doing now with the aquatic invasive species at DFO?
Um, I would say the nature of my work can be quite dynamic, and
Ooh.
that's what I love most about it. So there are times where I'm involved in visiting sites to conduct on-site management work. For example, I was in Bayverde Peninsula and in areas of Western Notre Dame Bay in the fall to conduct European green crab trapping work and then
Mm.
conduct environmental DNA sampling work. And then I was
Mm.
in Eastport and Terranova National Park in the summer to carry out education and outreach activities on aquatic invasive species.
Wow.
And some days I'm studying relevant and recent scientific publications for my work to stay updated. And other
Mhm.
days I'm coordinating contracts, reviewing management documents, writing documents. So there are varied parts to my current job, and it's, like I said, it's very dynamic, and I love that about it. It's a little bit like the water quality program too, which was dynamic, I thought, because the amount of courses that we did had exposure to field components. For example, one course I did called aquatic systems. That's the first course where I learned how to do fish habitat surveys in rivers and conduct cross-sectional assessment of rivers. That project was in Virginia River. It's one of my favorite field project that I did in the program, and that experience stayed with me even after the program ended. It really helped me in being interested in knowing that, wow, this can also be so much fun as a work. I think that's what really motivated me later in life to be more involved with the fisheries side of the water resources where the both resources
Mm.
intersects.
Oh, got you. It's really funny because I was just about to ask you about like your in class and field work, and so thank you for touching on
Yeah.
that. So like, what was it about the Virginia River
Yes, it
project?
was in the Virginia River. It was a fish habitat assessment survey and a river cross-sectional survey. It was mostly learning how to conduct surveys and then preparing a report on it.
Would you list that as among your favorite memories of the program?
Oh, I definitely would. Yes, yes. It was one of the most fun experience, not just from a learning side of things, but also working in a group, which I do on daily basis for my current work, like work how to collaboratively work on projects and group work, whether it be it in the field, whether it be it in the office, desk job. Um, I remember that memory with a lot of admiration. Other favorite part of the program was just talking to the instructors and learning from them. A lot of the lectures and in class, the classes that I attended, where the instructors would give us so much personal care and attention, and we
Mm,
were able to learn from them in depth, not just course materials, but at the same time, their experiences in the industry. I find that the Marine Institute, all the instructors there have a lot of exposure and connection with the industry and the current work, different projects that are happening right now.
mm,
And that really gets transferred to the students because when they're teaching, they can connect all the theoretical knowledge from our course materials to the practical world examples. And as they are up to date with a lot of the information from different projects that are happening around them, that was really valuable.
wow. Okay, that's really amazing, and so I'm really glad that you got to have that experience yet at MI. I think
Yeah.
in a lot of programs, it can be really difficult to have that sort of real world connection. I'm sure this reflects to a lot of people who find themselves in college and exploring where their careers could go. It's like they have like these very like cookie cutter experiments that they take part in, and so it can be really hard to find examples that make it really relevant to the real
Hmm.
world to get you an idea of like what people actually do in their fields rather than just like kind of just like, okay, we're touching on this one concept. And I think like those kinds of, kind of like lab experiences can be helpful in their own way, but it's really cool like
Hmm.
that you can do really applied things like that. Can
Yeah,
be awesome.
for sure.
So, could you describe some of the classwork um, that you did during the program?
Yeah. So from classwork, like everything I studied in terms of water quality as a broad concept, there were different courses that focused on more in-depth understanding of certain things such as water chemistry, water and wastewater treatment. And then we had GIS, so Geographical Information System focused courses as well. So it sort of prepared these students to have varied skills where in environmental world, having GIS and remote sensing experience and education can be valuable. It's a very one of the highlighted skills for sometimes required. I used it extensively when I was working as a watershed coordinator in the ENGO. I managed
Oh,
a 2 years project on conserving the Waterford River that flows through 3 municipalities.
mm,
And I wrote a management plan for the entire watershed
wow.
after the end of the project. Yeah, and a lot of the knowledge I gathered from the water quality program courses, such as the water chemistry, um, aquatic systems, and like water resources in general, fish habitat assessment that I was talking about, the Virginia River Project, and also understanding land use impact on water bodies and water quality, how it affects other resources such as fish habitat. Those were really valuable as they prepared me to carry that on into my professional setting and to be able to manage other work later.
That's so cool. For those of us that aren't so inclined as to understand what water quality assessments and like you were mentioning making that report for the Waterford River. Like what sort of things like go into making like those like plans and reports for like water resource management?
So to write any sort of management plans, and it was my first experience as well. I had to do a ton of research, secondary research and primary research to understand the health of the Waterford River first to be able to attempt to write a management plan. And conducting water assessments or river assessments involves a lot of procedures, but I followed something called Canadian Aquatic Biomonitoring Program. In short, it's called CABIN. So I had to get a cabin manager certification first to, so that was through work as well. And I followed a standardized method. So sometimes there are standardized protocols set to conduct those assessment surveys to understand the health of your river. Sometimes,
Mm.
as water resource managers or people who take on project managers, they can develop their own design as well. So I followed the standardized protocol, and from the results or understanding of those, took that data and then also did a lot of other um, in situ measurements. So taking measurements of the water quality of the river at different times to get together a snapshot of the river's health and also visual assessments following other standardized protocols to see how the river's health is. And then, based on all of those data and results, uh, I focused on five main themes where management measures can be applicable and can bring some changes and some restoration concepts as well, which can be applicable to the watershed.
That stuff's so cool. Like it's like hearing people's stories like that and just kind of like the kind of like small details like that go into their jobs that just like kind of remind me like what it is that keeps you going in a career in science. It's like everyone does such cool things. It feels like a kid in a candy store to me almost. You know, some people may be a little different, but this is me being biased as a an aspiring fishery scientist. I think it's really cool and like how all of these things are very like interconnected in their cool ways. And so it's a really cool thing. I'll just keep saying cool. Like one of the things I really admire about being in a place like the Marine Institute, it's like everyone does their own little like tiny puzzle piece of the aquatic realm. But
That's
they
right.
all like come together to create this really cool picture. Um, and so I love like hearing about people's aspects and how they play into that greater mosaic. So now that you're with DFO, you were talking earlier about how much you appreciate the kind of like dynamic nature of your position. And so I
That's right.
guess my next question kind of may like the answers you may have may vary depending on the kind of like which phase you're in and like the different projects you're working on. But like what does your day-to-day look like for you nowadays?
Like I said, it can be very dynamic as I work with the AIS National Core Program. So that's the Aquatic Invasive Species National Core Program.
Mm.
Um, at DFO, it's a federal initiative to prevent, monitor, and manage aquatic invasive species in Canadian waters. So
Mhm.
enforcing the EIS regulation under the Fisheries Act to protect our aquatic ecosystems, the economy, and biodiversity. So the program, which I'm part of right now, has four
Mhm.
main pillars: prevention, early detection, response, and management. And
Right.
my work um, primarily falls under prevention and early detection. I lead the education and outreach files. But as work comes, I sometimes will be reviewing documents or writing things, reading a lot of scientific publications. And in the summer and fall, there are components of field work, called it offsite
Mm.
management work. So I
Mm,
have to
sure.
attend to those. Yeah, so it can change. I don't think, um, well, if I have certain work that I have to finish within a deadline, then I'm working on it for long term, but it changes from day to day. I am also studying part time uh, the revamped water resource management master's program, the Masters of
Right.
Marine Studies in Water Resource Management. So a lot of after my work day ends in the evenings, I spend a lot of time studying for that program. So I took one course this semester, which was Water Resource Management and Governance.
Super cool. Wow. So you're quite busy.
My admiration for learning more and getting more education in the water resources did not end with the water quality program. I'm really happy that the water quality program was revamped and the new Masters of Marine Studies in Water Resource Management and Governance gave me another opportunity to get more education in that field.
Yeah, so actually that's something I wanted to ask you about. I was wondering, like, what made you decide to join back with the program now that it's been, revamped into a master's program?
Yeah, when I did the water quality program, it was called an advanced diploma. Um, I wanted to pursue higher education. I wanted to get a master's degree at some point.
Mm,
I was trying to find something that would work with my current professional life as well. So I did not want to take time off from work or stop working and then go back to school and come
mm,
back to the work sector again. I wanted something that I can do at the same time with my current work. And when this program was launched this September 2025, well, we got the notification as former graduates of the Advanced Diploma in Water Quality program that the master's program is going to be launched in September. And it just
mm,
fit with my current life so well. Like I couldn't
mm.
continue to work, but at the same time, I can pursue the master's program as well. Um, and advanced diploma water quality graduates are eligible to get into the second year of the master's program and complete 5 online courses. And that also works really well as the courses in the second year of the program, the Masters of
Mm.
Marine Studies in Water Resource Management, is online. That works really well with professionals who are working, such as myself. So it's just all aligned perfectly for me.
Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to about this next year of studying for you?
I am fascinated how the water resources also intersects with fisheries resources, being aquatic ecosystems.
Right.
And water is a finite and vital natural resource that supports all forms of life on Earth. It's just provides habitat for aquatic species. It sustains ecosystems. It's essential for drinking water, other industries too, agriculture, energy production, sanitations. Like it intersects with a lot of other industries. Um, so I thought that understanding water as a resource will prepare me better for a career where um, I can also have that dynamic skill set. In my understanding, like water governance, understanding and knowing it is very important for all of us in the protecting our aquatic ecosystems and also for the society as well. And good water quality is important for biodiversity, and also important for fish and other aquatic life. So it all interconnects for me, and that made me get enrolled into this program again.
Thank you for touching on that. I appreciate it. What advice do you have for anyone interested in pursuing like water quality or like water resource management?
From my experience, I can say that water resources is very important and it's a vital resource. And if anyone is interested in studying and learning more about this, the program at MI is a fantastic opportunity to do that. I think it's one of its kind. It's very unique in the way it's
Mm.
set up. It provides a lot of um, theoretical knowledge through the courses, but at the same time, uh, in the master's program I'm finding now, we also get a lot of understanding into different case studies, and through the internship as well, it helps individuals to transition um, to the work component in any work sector of their choosing in around water resources. So I think it opens up a lot of opportunities for any students who would like to pursue it.
Yeah, that's really powerful. Thank you. I appreciate that, Sabina. You quite frankly, you've done a really, I think, phenomenal job of selling the program. So
It is not intentionally done. I'm really a big fan of the program because it has given opened up a lot of opportunities for me. And I'm still learning, and there's no end to learning. So, yes, anyone interested, this program will be amazing.
wow, that's you've almost convinced me to to study water resource management. I feel like that happens with every episode. It's like, oh man, I just like knowing things, and so I guess that's the one of the I guess signs of a scientist is that there's just a perpetual need to learn more things.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're doing something right if you're still maintaining that love for learning and then continuing to go back for more. So
Yes, thank you.
yeah, thank you so much for Sabina for talking with me today. I really appreciate it. And so yeah, a little round of applause for our guest for today. Yeah. Woohoo, this is the sound of me clapping. Uh Um, but yeah, really appreciate it, Samina. Thank you for coming on and talking with us about this today. And hopefully y'all learned something today and maybe who knows, maybe you'll go read up a little more on water resource management, if not, convince yourself into getting a master's program. And so, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to email us over at wavecast@mi.mun.ca. Or if there's something that you want to learn more about that we have here at MI and that you think would be cool for me to unravel, then would love to hear more about that. So send us an email or check us out over on our Marine Institute socials. Happy holidays. We'll hopefully see y'all next time. Stay wavy, my friends, and we'll catch you later.